And going live. Ba-boom. We are here. We are now.
No Romulans today. I mean,
not that I can see, but they might be cloaked.
Yeah,
so.
that's true. That is true. And if it's a Riemann, the perfect cloak, couldn't even detect them even if we tried. That's true. Yeah, I've certainly rocked my confidence a bit, I'll be honest.
Sorry, man.
But there is another famous race today, so we do get a bit of the larger cannon here.
Do we though? Do we?
Well, that will be the debate. Yeah.
Well, Eugene already threw 500 rubles in and says, I'm going to be busy during the live today.
Oh.
So here's something for kind of the first Trill appearance. Yeah.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Hope you come back and join in and watch after the fact. Enjoy the review, discussion, theorization. Hello.
Yes.
So what are you having for dinner today, Stuart? After the live, what's your posted and plan?
No idea. We'll probably be ordering skip the dishes, but I just don't know what. Because Sylvia got paid today, so.
You're probably ordering skip the dishes.
Yeah.
Is that a app?
Well, ordering from there, so yes. I don't know what we're going to get, though.
Oh. It's a good name for an app. We have Just Eat and Deliveroo.
We've got DoorDash, Skip the Dishes, and then Uber Eats.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Uber Eats is just a guy that goes places. The other ones are more directly with the yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've heard of DoorDash. Yeah. Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
I guess I should just share straight out, see how many people come back in.
Might as well. We already got 28 likes with 23 people, so I'll talk to them while you share. Right on. All right, guys. So, as you saw, Eugene couldn't be here today. He usually contributes with the very good points and things. I can hear you humming. Samuel. Can hear you humming. You forgot to mute.
No, I didn't.
Oh. The last couple times you've shared, you haven't been muted, but you didn't hum or anything, so.
Well, then this mute button isn't working then, because it was muted.
Yeah, I can hear you the whole time, yeah. Doesn't work. Anyway, let's just let you know.
Unmute. Great, thanks.
Anywho, just guys, yeah, so if you
put the microphone further away, so I can't even click. There you go. Microphone's now further away from me. Jesus Christ.
Clicking's not the problem. Anyway, guys, yes, so as you can see, super chats are a great way to support the channel, help us out, help yourself out, get your comment read, your question answered. And they're fun to do because you know that you're helping out the channel and getting your opinion out there. So if you have any thoughts on this episode or want to talk about it or give your opinion or something that you know about the episode that we don't, perhaps that is a good way to do so. You can also do Patreon/Trekyards to help us out on a monthly basis, or click that join button. There's a join button on YouTube where you just right beside the subscribe button, you hit that button and you can join us for you can't hear us clicking. You can join us for the lives. If you join us for the live quite often, clicking the join button is a good way to do it. You get your name highlighted. You get your little badge beside your name, shows us how long you've been here. A couple people have already got their 1-year badges, so that's awesome. It shows us that you really love us and support the channel. So, and you get some cool emojis and stickers and stuff as well as part of that to be included with the live discussions, which are always awesome. So, or you can click the descriptions down below. There's links in the description of every video, so click those. You can get some cool stuff off Eagle Moss, some discounts and things like that. So if you want to save yourself some money and get some cool stuff, you can definitely do that by clicking those links. So anyway, I need to sneeze. There we go. So yes, and as you can see, Olivia is also super chatted as well. So thank you, Olivia. The president is here. And tonight I'll probably be doing I don't know if I'll do a truth or drink, or if I'll do a would you rather or drink. Now, would you rather or drink is would you rather questions. I can choose to answer them and be grossed out, or choose not to answer them and drink. I don't know. We'll see how it goes tonight, what we decide. So hopefully that's something you guys will be interested in as well. So if you can join us for that, or join me for that, please consider doing so. Yeah, he is having pizza. What? I'm reading Ozzy's comments. Grubhub. Yes, I think there's Grubhub up here as well. All right. Thank you, Ozzy, for blessing me. Anyway, yeah, so thank you guys. And look, Samuel's back. Awesome. Yay.
Am I unmuted? Is that...
Yeah, and we heard your typing at 1,000 miles an hour.
That's what I do.
I know. This is background noise. Clicky, click, 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 click. Olivia Julius, though, $5. Am I the only one that thinks Jadzia should have been a different species in DS9?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
The only person.
And Olivia Julius, $5. I still think Jadzia should have been a different species in DS9. Okay. Matthew K, $5. Alive, I'm here from the beginning of. Now, that's a concept. Good to see you, Matthew, and thank you for super chatting and for being here. It's awesome. Too bad it's kind of a shit episode, but okay.
I don't think it is a shit episode, though, so that's good.
I don't think it's a shit episode.
That's what you just said! What do you mean? It's like saying, I hate you, but I don't really hate you.
Oh yeah, I say that all the time. I do hate you.
Well, yeah, but I also know you don't really hate me, so it's
but I don't really hate you, so.
Oy.
It's not a great episode. This is one I would not choose to watch. This one.
Yeah, I had that a couple ago.
There was a lineup of, you had to pick like 10, let's say, from each season. This would not be in a list ever, for any reason.
See, for me, Drumhead wouldn't be on the list because it's just not a fun one to watch.
Yeah, Drumhead wouldn't be on my list either, probably.
Like, not, yeah. Although, I'll be honest, the Geordie one, if that was on my list, is now on the other list of like, yeah, I'd watch the Geordie one again. The Geordie Goes Alien. That's
Identity Crisis.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
That went up my expectation. So, yeah.
Anyway, so good to see you, Matthew. Thank you for joining us. And hopefully we can have some interesting and fun things to say about this episode.
It's definitely a different sort of episode. And I liked, I don't remember what it was. I think it was just it was like a lockdown interview with Ronald D. Moore, and he's obviously from BSG and was on Star Trek from most of the TNG seasons and DS9, etc. And he was expressing how they would start every season with a big, whiteboard or chalkboard, and they would want to spread out the stories so that you had, at least a Beverly and a Deanna and a Data and so have one of each at least, and then you kind of have those other ones and some of just the ideas, and you work out which character will be best with it. And then they work out which ones don't fit together, like you don't have 2 Picards in a row, 2 Datas, etc. So this is obviously the Beverly of the season, which is nice to see, unlike Discovery where there is no there is no focus on each character, whereas this is nice. They all get, the varying degrees of the quality of the scripts, obviously, but it's very distinctly, this is the Beverly episode with a nice bit of Frakes acting. Maybe not being Riker, but it's a Frakes acting, so it's interesting to see who gets focus. And in fact, this is like the 3rd in a row that we haven't focused on Picard or Data.
Yeah.
And it's kind of with 3 in a row, it's been quite distinct. Like, this is a sort of side set.
Yeah, there's been very little of Data the last few episodes we've watched, for sure.
But this is
what did you think?
This is the season that had brothers, so I can imagine maybe there was something about he was in one a lot at the start. I don't know.
Now, what did you think of the episode? Let's start with you. Like,
Yeah.
different vibe going into it. Like, I know you watched it not that long ago for the Trill stuff.
Well, less
than Discovery.
I guess I thought I watched all of it. I didn't watch most of it. I skimmed it like a mother effer. So I really didn't watch it again. I did not care about the start. I only care about the Trill specific scenes. So I skipped all the Beverly shit, which is the main part of it. So actually, yeah. No, it's pretty good. Like it's I don't think you can discount it as the canon of the Trill because most things they get right. You know, it says not Trill as the Klingons aren't Klingons in TOS. It's like, yeah, but there's an easy answer, and this is the only example of Trill, or two people we see. So I don't think it's much. You know, it's mostly consistent. So I'm not really worried about that. And we'll get into that later. But that on the off hand, I think the political stuff's pretty good. You know, it's classic TNG. It's good to see the interplay between Picard and Beverly, and then the ambassador guy. See some of those very odd looks from Picard, who's, you know, jealous but unhappy, but also prideful. There's some nice little moments of very distinct character stuff, and I'm sure Gates appreciated it, because it isn't just like, unfortunately, Troy gets a few times of just more of a I'm the love interest. Beverly isn't really that this week. She is mostly, but there's a lovely nuance of the you know, am I in love with a person or a creature or an idea? And that follows through quite nicely and gives her a bit of some meat to the bone rather than just boning the meat. I couldn't help it. That worked so well. So it's actually it was a Beverly episode. You know, if you don't like Beverly, you're not gonna like it. But Pulaski would be way worse in it than Beverly, so she adds a lot to it. Although obviously brings up some concerns about the Riker stuff. But, you know, it's a nice, gentle episode that everyone does a good job in. The acting's pretty good, and it's fun to see Frakes not be Riker, actually try not to be Riker, and he does it pretty well.
Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, there's a few things that I have issues with in this episode.
Yeah.
The Trill thing being one of them, but it's a minor thing. It's the first time we see them, so whatever. It is what it is.
And they didn't think they were going to go anywhere. Like, this is, I mean, how many one-offs have they had that never go anywhere? All of them. Yeah. They just happen to pick these guys to continue.
There's a real time issue in this one for one scene in particular, which I'll get to talk to talk about when we get there. Just kind of a weird thing, just an anomaly. And yeah, this one reminded me a lot of the Lower Decks episode where they're talking about the moons.
Yes,
there was like
100%
different people on the moons, and there was only him and his wife living on the one moon.
The whole population is going to be killed. Both of us. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Really, like I was getting massive flashbacks too. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Which I liked. I liked that. I thought that was actually quite nice.
Yeah. And I didn't like the. Also didn't like the whole Trill thing with I am this thing in my stomach, and then the lady comes in at the end. Hello, I am here to get this symbiote. I have no personality until it's in. Oh yeah. Oh. So I got a few issues, and even when Riker gets it, he's got all the memories, all the everything like instantly. There's no problems. Anyway, but that's neither here nor there. That's because that's Trill, you know, stuff built up on top of that, years of it. So we'll have to talk about it both as first time seeing the Trill, maybe being a one-off kind of thing, and then also the history of the Trill. There's going to be some issues there. So anyway, you know, overall though, all right episode. Gates really gets to shine in this one, and yeah, I think it's interesting. I mean, there are some weird things that happen with Crusher and Riker. Like they definitely had sex.
It's our third debate in a row, Stuart. Did they have sex? Yes or no?
Yes.
The debate. I think we'll both happily go on the yes they did. So it's pretty much 3 episodes in a row. People have sex in TNG. That's weird.
So yeah, I mean, there's some weird consequences, or that would just be awkward and weird after the fact, you know. Like anyway, so that's where we are. I thought it was interesting. I kind of like the idea, the problem that they were facing with the 2 moons and using the polar energy magnetic field to, and the other moons passing through it, causing issues. That was kind of neat.
Yeah, the science stuff was on point. They actually committed quite well to that concept. I really wish, though, and this is kind of a general thing, I love the concept that he was every generation of ambassador, because that makes sense. I really wish there was more put into that. I know it was glazed over, and there a little bit, but I would love to, I don't know how to do a flashback, but some sense that, oh no, I've been like every generation of ambassador. Like, I've known your parents, your grandparents, like,
yeah,
because I'm Trill. Like, I've done 900, you know what I mean? I would love a bit more of a connection there, personally.
Yeah, but doesn't it seem like it's just the Trill? Like the host is just a vessel.
Well, that's...
And there's no Odin Dax or Odin whatever, you know.
Well, no, his name would be Odin. Like, it would be something Odin.
Okay.
Clearly, that's the name of the symbiote.
Yeah.
And to be fair, so and because the lady does have a name at the end, it would be whatever her name was, Odin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, hadn't been invented yet. You know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although Devereaux says, which do we prefer? Which makeup? This one time or all of canon?
Definitely the spots.
Yeah.
Definitely spots. I was looking for spots on. It would be nice if he had a few spots or something, but there was nothing there. It's like, oh.
That said, though, I think his makeup is pretty good, though. Like, it looks good on him. The lady, not so much. I'm kind of bothered by the woman's nose. I don't know why. At the end, like, I kept looking...
Probably why I don't like Bajoran girls. I don't like the nose. The thing there bothers me.
Maybe. But I thought he looked pretty... I think it fit his face. Honestly, it was designed around his, like... Yeah. I thought he looked pretty good in it. But actually, in terms of makeup, I thought the other aliens, they had better makeup. Like, they had a really, like, they committed to a really unique look.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was actually really well achieved. It's pretty elaborate. I mean, this is obviously a bottle show. They could put more money into the makeup because it's all standing sets. And they have one... the guest star's only in, like, 16 minutes. So, you know, it's actually one of the cheaper episodes.
There's one more scene that I just kind of want to talk about real quick before we'll talk about when we get there, I'm sure. But how many shuttlecraft does Starfleet go through because they're just not willing to take the extra 5 seconds and actually try to land the goddamn thing? Oh yeah, we can't. It's gonna break apart. We got to beam out.
Oh.
No, I can't beam out. Oh, in that case, I can fly it in. You know.
Yes.
Like. That kind of bugged me a little bit. It's like, seriously.
I love the idea that his default is the safety, but he's such a good pilot. Oh, he can. But you're right, the turn is too quick. Yeah. It's like, if it was that dangerous, make us feel it was that dangerous to, like, you know, or even, Picard says, good luck, Will. Thank you, Captain. You know. Did you hear what I said? Yeah.
Good luck, Will.
Yeah, like one extra level of summarizing this is actually as dangerous as it could be. You're right, that was a weird... and I gotta say, I know they tried to be different and using the merchantman, but it didn't work. The scale felt wrong, and it didn't look good. But it's because they were using the every other ship, the freighter, to be the thing at the end. So they couldn't have a freighter attacking them and meeting a freighter at the end. So only one redress for this episode. Definitely, although at least we did see the battle for a split second. I was sure we weren't going to see anything because of like the way they cut. There's a 2-shot on Picard and Worf, and they're explaining everything. You're like, yeah, they're not going to show anything. They're not going to put money in. They're just it's much. We're saving tens of thousands of dollars just to say a word. I can save thousands of dollars by not showing it. Yeah. So, but it's not about that, is it? But at least, even though it's a bottle show, the concepts are all good, and that's why I think it like is more than a simple bottle show, because it has strong concepts and has a strong like overriding thing. It's like, you know, Beverly with the warp, static warp shell. It's like bottle show, really strong concept. She holds the whole episode together. Have we already had that one yet? We have, haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah, that was great. That was a great episode. Sorry. Hello. Yes, there we go. I'm done.
It's hard to remember what we've reviewed, actually.
Well, at a certain point, it'll be most of them. So, yeah, because we're getting close. There's only, 64 episodes left? It's not a lot.
Damn.
Not a lot.
Damn. Well, let's get into it. Last week started with Counselor Troy's log. This one starts with Dr. Beverly Crusher's log, which is kind of neat. So they are going to the moon, beta moon of Pelar-Zel, because there's been medical issues there. Got a note from Wesley. He's top in his class, whoop-de-doo, in exobiology.
You say whoop-de-doo?
Yeah, whoop-de-doo.
Nice.
Don't care. Whoop-de-doo.
Oh, that's nice. I like
that. Yeah, struggling in ancient philosophies, though. Oh, by the way, there's somebody new in my life. Don't care. And then just grossed out immediately. Like, stop. And it's not just a kiss. It's they do that a few times in this.
Yeah, I mean, she does sell it, though. You know, I can appreciate it. And I think this is actually one of the... I think probably all the scenes where he was in them were slightly stronger because he actually committed to the bit. I like Riker, but I liked him more as the character because obviously you can't really get away from Frakes being Riker being whatever his name is. This guy had a good energy to him as like a unique vibe. And like I say, he looks good in the makeup for sure. But I thought it was a really kind of fun scene. I mean, Data was used perfectly. And I love the beautiful subtext as she grabs his arm and makes him go, and it's like, Doctor, every second doesn't count. No, every second counts. I'm melting here. Wink. Yeah. And like that subtext, you have to be an adult to get.
Every second is important, yeah.
And that is a really dirty scene if you think about it. Like he is waiting for me, and I am waiting. Like that's great. I love that. It's a very well written and acted scene.
Yep. I have nothing else to add. Data, I just love his totally oblivious, and yet at the same time, he starts talking about a headache, and Data's like, "What? Huh?" He knows something's going on. But he doesn't know what. And then,
well, he's just confused.
And then how long does it take it? How long does it take you to input the data? The data. It'll take an hour. Okay, we've seen how fast he can move. How much data is he entering?
Well,
like,
the real question is, how could Beverly help him if it's going to take Data an hour? How is she going to help at all? You know?
Well, she's not. She's putting him in at the station, and then she's leaving.
No, but she's meant to be
she
there.
Has to go.
That was the whole point. I had to do it together to do correlation stuff. That was the whole point. And then she's like, yeah, I'll set you going, and you can do the pre-thing, yeah, and I'll be back. Then she has to go back. I just think it's a really well-crafted little scene, actually, and I love the play of these two. It's like, yes, you're right, but wait, I'm ill, and she's like, you are? Like there is no plan, and then she's just kind of working with him. It's a very well played scene, like really, really good.
No, it's because the implication is she's taking him to put. They'll have an hour.
Yes.
They'll have an hour.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
We only have an hour, so make that count.
And then the ominous. Oh my God, his stomach. Really good makeup, except there's one hair out of place, and it's really obvious, and I hate it. Like a very super dark hair. It's like, what the hell? Get that off of there.
Yeah. No, they definitely committed to a very successful gross stomachness,
yes.
Considering the budget or lack thereof, as they may or may not have. And I thought that was very good. Although it doesn't, there's no reason for this. I know we have no context as to who and what these guys really are, but this makes no sense. Like, there's no reason for it. There's no explanation for it. Like, this means nothing, and yet it's here. Like, you didn't need this. Actually, it would have been.
It's just. Yeah, I know, but it's a zinger to get you. Like, something's weird about this guy right off the hop.
Yeah, so. But it would have been fine just to, I think, just to have it go into the crash. Because it doesn't make any sense from a Trill perspective, unless his symbiote has really bad indigestion.
Well, there might be something going on. It's not working quite right because no transporting. That'd be like. We'll get there in a bit, but.
Yeah, and boy, the chest. I'm so glad I'm not a guy that has chest hair, because it must be a bloody hassle. Right. Like back hair,
especially when it's sweaty and. Ugh.
Yeah, ugh. I mean, I would shave that shit. Are you kidding? That's horrible. You see, there's films hire those guys for hillbillies that have arm hair that's like up to here, and it's like all their back on the front. It's like, oh my god, that would be horrible. I'm sorry if you have that. That's not good.
A constant wool sweater.
Yeah.
Gross.
No offense, but seriously, don't have it.
So anyway, after the opening title sequence, we get they obviously just had sex, and
they just had sex. Oh, he left.
There we go.
Yes.
Had a fear that Data was going to barge in, and she's like, "Well, I got to go now."
Although all I thought was mood killer, mentioning another man just after. What a mood killer! Terrible.
Yeah. And we find out they've been together for 10 days now, and it's the whole. I thought you were ice to the bone, but you're fire, baby, fire.
All I kept thinking during this scene is that's definitely take 6, because he always messes up just after the big kiss. Sorry guys, gotta do it again. Oh, sorry, messed up. That's all I kept thinking, because like they sell it so well. There's I wouldn't say necessarily like romantic connection, but both act on the exact same wavelength for commitment, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's a very long take, and that's real acting, so I'm really sold on it. It's just he's you know they're trying to tell you a lot about him in a short amount of time, which makes it feel less natural. But he's selling it really well, so it's a bit of a yeah. No, yeah, it was.
And they
bought it.
get effectively cock blocked by Picard, and the look on her face is pretty.
She got caught. She got caught hand on the cookie thingy.
Right?
Like, she looks guilty, because it really is getting caught by an ex-boyfriend while you're currently with a new boyfriend, and it's a great, like, little acting. There's a lot of adult stuff here if you wouldn't get if you were a kid, which is great.
Not a band account, $2.
Bam.
Rare spots, not a Trill. Right?
I mean, no, he might have him removed. It might be an aesthetic choice. He might be from the north, the south, the east, the west, the down under, the blue coast, the moon of Trill. Who knows?
Speaking of the moons, we get the next shot of the planet and the two moons.
Another time, the planets don't look too good. Something about the way they were brought in. Like, the planets themselves are big, bright, but the way the edges look is so unnatural. It happened the last couple, but the planets have been really good. These aren't good.
Well, that's not the worst of this.
No,
okay, they're there.
Yes.
In just literally a minute and a half, Picard's like, it'll take us 6 hours to get to orbit.
Oh,
are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah, because the guy's also like, we have all the time in the world because I'm done till we get there. It's like, we are there. It's been 1 hour. We know it's been 1 hour. You're already there? What?
It should also be pointed out that the Arboretum windows behind the shuttle bay there are lit. Later, they're not. I don't know if somebody just turned the lights off later, but anyway. But yeah, 6 hours for them to get from here to orbit. I mean, they must be... I don't know what the situation is.
I mean, to be fair, it may be a Mandalorian Season 2 situation where there's a designated fly zone and fly speed.
Sure.
Just saying.
I also think the moons are way too close.
Yeah, it's not a good visual. It really isn't.
No.
It's not.
No.
And it's weird because they've done some really good stuff, you know. Yeah.
Yep. I do like how they're like, where you've been with the patient, and then he comes in through the other door and like totally walks by her and ignores her, like not letting on, which was good. I thought that was well done.
Yeah, this is a funny moment because it plays two different ways. As soon as she walks in, Riker's like, "Oh, girl," but no one else registers it. So he's read the script, but no one else has. I don't.
Troy does in a second when she sits down.
But
she gives a look.
But that's after she's sensing the things.
Yes.
So I don't know why he's smirking. It's really blatant. It's like classic Riker. I'm not necessarily in camera frame like, but I don't know how he could tell she got laid. But yeah, I loved how he walked in, so professional, walked by him, and Riker's kind of like, hey. So it was a good balance, except it was a bit weird. Now this is because I'm sure it makes sense at the end, but the way I felt at the time was that Picard's calling him down to negotiate, but I seem to remember, I watched it 45 minutes ago, called him there for a new thing, like, we need you quickly because a thing's happened, and yet isn't he here for this mission? Why is he being...
She is there.
Yeah.
Governor Lika has intercepted us before we reach her planet.
Okay. Yeah.
In order to update us on the situation.
Okay.
People have been discovered, blah, blah, blah. She gives them the update, essentially, as to what the hell's happening, which is probably well known by everybody at this point.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I didn't catch you found them.
The history of the moons, how they split off, they went and lived on these moons. They're like two squabbling little children to them. They try not to choose sides, but if there's going to be a war, they are going to have people on the planet are going to start choosing sides, and it's going to get ugly.
Yeah.
So,
and I really liked how, and this is a small thing to enjoy, but I like the fact they are all the same race. I was kind of half expecting they'd be like all radically different. I'm like, well, why? You know, I don't know why I was expecting that, but you often get, you know, races looking different when they should look the same. Yeah.
But Alpha Moon is tapping into the magnetic field as a power source, and as Beta Moon is going through the resulting connection, It's causing issues, environmental damage, and eventually it'll end in rising temperatures, erratic tides, and just global warming.
They literally say global warming,
Yep.
like it'll be global warming, and I'm like, what? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Beverly's there because of the medical repercussions of the health of the people. So,
Although that, to be fair, that's unclear because she's only in it because of the guy, and it. So I didn't even know that. I just thought she was there because she was there.
well, even in her first medical log, like when the first lines out of her mouth were talking about respiratory issues with the people. So that's what she's been working him on.
Working on him.
Yeah.
Vigorously at night.
Like, well,
8-hour long working on him sessions. Very, very important. Yeah.
This is where Picard's like, well, we'll be in orbit around Palzel within 6 hours.
You know what?
Yeah, if you could arrange for the delegates to come on board, that'd be great.
I think, Captain, your impulse engines need a tune-up.
Yeah, they were built by Ford. They got to update those.
Or Tesla need a firmware update.
No, not a band account. $2. Is there any man, alien, or space ghost she won't try? I mean, there's a lot of men that come on board she doesn't try. So let's be fair.
And she almost didn't. Almost Riker was not. Wasn't good enough. So close.
And they talk about shuttling down to the planet, and he's like, I prefer, or transporting down the planet. He's like, I prefer a shuttle. They're like, that's not a good idea. There's people gunning for whatever. We'll be going towards the surface. Well, I'm just not interested in taking the transporter. So it's like, okay, cool.
And that's not telegraphing it at all.
No.
But I appreciate, though, the vibe. He's just like, yeah, I just don't like it. And Cam's like, I respect your decision. So I appreciate that you can...
Bones was the same way.
Yes. Like, you always imagine that they could insist, but you got this nice sense that you still have a personal... personal choice. Because at the end of the day, those shuttles can probably get down to the planet in like 2 or 3 minutes. It's not really that big a hassle.
Well, I don't know if it takes 6 hours to get from here to orbit. Whole trip. From orbit to the surface.
Oh, no, the shuttles are recently tuned up, so they're working much better. Yeah.
Built by Chev, okay. Anyway, yeah, so we get the moment between Picard and Deanna where she's like, I sense weird shit coming from him. But what could it just be normal to the Trill? We don't know anything about them.
Yes.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And that's interesting, because obviously not part of the Federation, because that wouldn't make sense. Brand new, Picard would know if they were that important, because he's quite a knowledgeable chap. So that implies, they're very much... But yet Curzon was obviously around for decades, so maybe they are just ambassadors. Maybe that's like one of their like pride of things, because they have obviously the knowledge to have the experience to be good ambassadors. Most, the 2 of 2 Trill we know that are out there doing their own thing, which I think would be quite a cute way of doing that, really. But it is interesting how they just don't know anything. It's a weird one.
Well, then we get the beauty salon where...
And it means also that they didn't have to give their medical records. You would think it'd be standard procedure to give medical records when you go on a ship, but they obviously, he just politely declined or lied on them?
Maybe.
Like, it's a secret that would be hard to, especially since one scan. That secret should have been out within the first few days, really, the first Trill. Really. But whatever. Yes.
But then you get Dr. Crusher trying to pilot the spore drive. She's got her hands in the goo.
That's a good... I like that. That's a good one.
It's Palmolive, man. Anyway, this is kind of a cute scene with the... Oh, well, you're treating yourself, eh? You're in love. I wish you weren't so empathic. Hey, everybody knows. You don't have to be empathic to see that. You're glowing. Must be the astringent. Nice little scene.
You can imagine this is a scene they'd never expect to get in this way. It's so, like... Not a soap opera, but it's so, like, organically people.
Yep.
And so it's not... Like, Gates is not a doctor here. She's a woman. And not just a woman, but she's a layered woman. Like, you know what I mean?
Best friends. Best friends chatting, yeah.
Because it's not a... Even though it is, you'd think a stereotypical sort of scene, it actually isn't. It's a bit more intricate. So I like that. And I like that. Well, I'm sad we don't actually get Mott Although I guess this means they have multiple barbers, and then Mott's later. But I like we always have Foley and barbers, but you know, not Mott though. Although I didn't quite understand why the eye thing was such a ooh. Felt like such a non-thing to be ooh about.
I just assume it's an expensive thing that nobody, you know, you really got to be into it. But you know, money is not a thing, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm assuming that whereas Troy obviously deals with people in a more real way, Crusher deals with them more in a clinical way. So it doesn't matter if her hair's astray, if she has makeup on, whereas Troy wants to kind of work with people in a different way. So I'm guessing that what she's doing is beautification, and she never does that because she never needs to. And so the fact that Troy's like, oh my god, you're actually trying to make your skin look better and shinier, and your hair not like, it's like, well, you're trying to make yourself look better. You never do that. So I think it's like a special treatment for your face to kind of, you know, make you look sexier. Was the impetus I got?
Yeah.
Because she's nervous. She's like, oh, and she says that half the scene, like getting the goo off, like I'm not really here.
Well, there's no towel around.
Yes. Like, she's not ready for this.
No.
Yeah.
Not a band account, $2. Sorry, I was mean earlier, but Space Ghost, really? I mean, I've watched Space Ghost Coast to Coast. He's a pretty sexy guy. I can see why I should go for him.
I don't really remember the episode at all, so I can't comment. We'll get there, obviously, and hopefully there'll be a well viewed episode. May have to be a drunk yards one.
That's the threshold of. Anyway. Yeah, here she's talking about, is it infatuation? I'm old enough to know better, but it's only been like, 10 days and a couple of weeks, she says. So thinks she's rushing it, and Vienna's like, are you sure you know him really well? I mean, just saying. So I like it. It's rushing too headlong into a relationship. So
although
friendly advice.
The acting is so sincere that you don't get the sense she's like, ooh! She's like, this is something. It's that classic thing where it won't work out at the end, so you can go full on because it doesn't matter, Although two things about the scene that don't quite work as well. One, she says, I've only known him a couple of weeks. 10 days is not a couple of weeks. That is a hard round up. A couple is 3, and 3 weeks is not.
A couple is 2.
Well, you know what I mean, though.
Me and Sylvia are a couple. There's only 2 of us.
True.
But
you know what I
is
mean.
2. A few is 3 to 5.
When I use couple, I mean more than 2. But okay, I was missing. Yeah, but I like that she knows the number of days, but it's more in her brain. So it's weird to note both and it'd be sort of wrong. But also, I didn't like the fact that she says, I've never felt this like safe with anybody. It's like, you married a guy, had a child, and you loved him. How disrespectful to Jack, your husband. Like, she completely ignores her relationship with him, and it's not even remotely. I was kind of hoping later that when she talked about the girl she first fell in love with, it would be Jack, but Jack doesn't exist this week. And I felt disrespected by her acting because she actually married that guy. Just saying.
Yeah, but did you see him? Like, buy a belt, dude. Buy an undershirt. Lazy bastard.
You should have. I wish you'd go back in time, walk into the prop department. He's like, costume fitting. And Westmore's like, who the hell are you? Buy a belt! And you're like, what the hell?
Here, I brought you one. And, put the turtleneck on. Oh, I know you're doing the transition thing, but no, guys. It doesn't look good. I don't know if...
Here.
Open your eyes. Take
this instead. And then we go forward in time and we see he's wearing the Trekyards TMP com badge because you gave him that as the transition point. Ha ha!
Too. Olivia Julius, $5. Here, this is for the puggy. May she never burrow into my stomach and control my body.
Oh,
well, if she did, all you do is lay on the couch, drool on yourself, and occasionally eat a treat here and there. So hopefully that's different than what you normally do.
I don't know if Olivia has a sofa. So I had to get a sofa first. But yeah, it's a good scene. I just thought should at least mention Jack, especially since you mentioned Wesley. That felt really unnatural. Like the writer didn't know she was married before, which is they could have done that. Like they could not have fact checked it. This can happen, but a bit weird.
Yeah, it didn't bother me though. Um, Bradley Weekland puts in $5, so thank you for the super chat.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Beverly, are you sure Picard is Wesley's father?
Oh, I know. Oh.
Yeah, the only implication is that means he fucked around on his best friend with his wife.
Yep.
Which I don't really like that. So
that is the problem with that, yes.
Yes.
But it would be a good retcon for like deepening the canon, but yeah, that would be unless you like retcon it doubly that actually Wesley's dad wasn't as nice as he seemed, and you know. But then also if Picard even thought remotely, like he didn't ever thought Wesley was, otherwise he would have acted different all throughout TNG, you know? That would have retconned that and make that look quite dodgy, and then Beverly's a bit shitty for not telling him, you know. So
yeah.
Yes.
All right, so Picard is talking to Odon.
Yes, they do change pronunciation.
Yeah. And he's like, your team's really good. They've really kept me up to date. And Dr. Beverly. Whatever. It's cute. Anyway, bugs me a little bit. It's kind of just disgusting, actually. And then he's like, "Oh, how well do you know Beverly? Like, how dedicated is she to Starfleet? What? You want her to leave the service now? Like, that's 10 days. Wow. I don't know. It was an odd question. It shouldn't have been that question. It should have been like, what's her favorite flower or something? You know, how well do you know her? You're a friend of hers for years. Can you tell me something she might like? You know, but no. How dedicated is she to Starfleet? Did that not totally hit you out of left field?
Well, the whole scene is inorganic. They don't successfully go from discussing work to Beverly. Like it's inorganic. He's just like, "Oh, I'm Beverly. Oh, I'm Beverly. Beverly." It's like, come on. I know you're infatuated, fine, but you can easily have a flowing conversation that works. It's very forced, for sure, and then certainly that transition point. But what sells it though, is Picard's face. He's like, fuck.
Yeah.
So I love the face. Brilliant acting. But the thing is, he could have dated Beverly for 4 years now, apart from the issue went away. Like, it's his choice.
Yeah, but you don't know. I know, but you don't know what you've got until you're risking losing it. Like, somebody on the hook, but like they're not interested in anybody, so you like keep them on the hook, you know. And but then once they, then you go, oh shit.
Although it's weird to have this and the what's it, Daj? No, his lady friend, archaeology lady. We just had.
Vash.
Yeah, so we'd have those like 3 away from each other. You know, she's all like having flirty breakfast, and then and then reverse. So they both get down and dirty with like 4 episodes of each other, which is quite weird. But I like his acting here for sure. But yeah, but it also symbolises how how serious he is. But yeah, it's an inappropriate question. I guess though, in the context of you've been one of our best friends for years, you would know more than anyone else. And if I only got 4 days left before I leave, you could argue there's some logic there, but it's like, you're really in a hurry, aren't you? And you really think you should leave the flagship doctor appointment just to be with a guy...
Chief medical officer of the flagship. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just a little bit too much.
But it also could just, like I said, say he's so infatuated. This is the truly unique thing for him. And so he's going to unknown territory. Because we do know, again, this is a retcon later, that you are not meant to keep... romantic entanglements between hosts. That is a no-no. It hasn't been invented yet, but like the fact that he's thinking that is a bit dodgy, because it's like, well, what happens? You know, you are gonna have to change host eventually.
The line should have been tweaked to be, is she due for any kind of shore leave soon? I'd like to take her to the moon, to the planet, blah 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 blah, to show her the blah 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 blahs.
That's good.
Would she be willing to take a month off from Starfleet?
Love that. Love that. Yeah. Or say, have you got any missions upcoming? Do you think Dr. Beverly could take some time off soon? Boom. Yeah. Much better.
Exactly.
Or even ask in a more subtle way, do you think she'd be interested in coming to Trill to learn more about our you know, species? Is she interested in xenobiology? You know, there's much better ways. I mean, that is a very direct way of doing it, but the whole scene could have done with a second, third, and fourth pass. Let's be honest. Except Picard's acting does a great job.
Now, there's something here that the way this scene ends, he gets the call that the shuttle bay's ready, and the guy's like, I'll find my own way to the shuttle bay. He's already made Picard feel it. Now, earlier, when they all left the conference room, the representative from the planet was the last one to leave. Everybody else buggered off. She's new to this ship. She doesn't know where the hell she's going. Riker, you would think that Riker would have like come with me kind of thing and walked out with her, but they all walk out ahead of her, don't even pay attention to this representative from this planet that they're helping, and she just wanders out the door like, where is she gonna go? She doesn't know where the transporter room is necessarily. It's a little thing that bugged me, but even this, I'll find my way to the shuttle bay. You're on the bridge. I mean, all you have to do is ask the computer, but still, it just seems a little bit rude. In this situation, I understand it, but leaving the briefing room with the poor lady from the planet, I don't know, just she was the last one out the door. It just looks...
I mean, what I would say to that is that probably she had a security guard up to take her to the bridge, so she's going to walk back onto the bridge the door she came in, and then see Worf and be taken back.
Yes, I'll buy that.
But yeah, that is certainly weird.
Screw you and your logic. Oosh.
Yeah.
Stop.
Weird. And guys, we're about a third of where we need to be super chat wise. So if you can put some more fives in, have your thoughts. Let us know.
Speaking of,
yes.
We got two. Squadra course, $2. I thought hug biontes were what? Hug boyants were incompatible with humans.
Bodies?
Symbionts.
Oh, bug bugs.
Oh, I get what you're doing. Okay.
He did a funny. Oh.
Not a band account, $2. Why did Picard never end up with Beverly later? Nah, I don't know.
Well, to be fair though,
$5.
he did, and they got divorced.
Yes,
so
until he didn't.
Until he didn't. Yes. But he did once.
It's true. Olivia Julius, $5 with no comment, but thank you, Olivia. Appreciate that. All right, so here's the shuttle. Riker's going to fly himself. He's the best pilot on the ship. They don't say that here, but that's said later in Chain of Command. Regardless, here's a flower. Yay, it means I love you. Yay. All right, done. Next.
Yeah, and you can tell he's escalating his affections because they were trying to keep it a secret, and here he's not. So I guess there is that appropriate escalation. Although
I do like the little kiss on the wrist each time. That's played really well, and it pays off at the end. Because
he's so kissy in his second scene, you don't think of it, but the more you see it, the more it entwines. That's a nicely done thing. Although I was really surprised. I didn't remember. I don't think they should build a full-size version of the shuttle. I don't remember ever seeing them walk into it. I thought the whole point of the other shuttle, the later one, was like, oh, we got it. So is this made just for this episode, this exterior? Because they don't really show it in its full glory. Like, I don't remember seeing this in other episodes. And it doesn't look very good. I don't think it's going to be the internal set. So I think they might have done especially for this episode. And we've always watched them in order. So if I'm saying, have they had it yet? Probably means they haven't. But it doesn't look great. But it shows why they need shuttles, because shuttles are really useful as devices to travel. It's another free set, except, well, free, but it's not a set.
Yeah. All right, so shuttle leaves and then gets attacked, and it's 2 minutes and 20 seconds from leaving the shuttle bay to when they'll be in the upper ionosphere.
I was right. I said 2 minutes.
Yep. An unidentified ship comes from behind one of the moons, and doesn't answer hails, obviously, and shoots at them. And this line bothered me. This is Worf, okay? Captain, they are loading their phaser banks.
Yes.
How the fuck do you load a phaser bank? They're arming their phaser bank. They're powering
Charging.
up. You're loading a torpedo tube. You don't load a goddamn phaser bank. Sorry, whoever wrote the script is an idiot. I'm just kidding. they're probably not. But
yes.
Does that bother anybody else?
Yep,
No.
that was a dumb moment. It was it was absolutely a wrong thing to say. Although they did actually say they were hailed. They were actually hailed. They were told they're an escort. Which is why Picard's like, I wasn't told an escort. Yes. So I did like that cover. It's actually a reasonably good reason. Although yeah, I like at least we saw this sequence, but it does feel so out of scale. Like, and they don't even really bother changing the look. It's so the Merchantman. Like, they just like pulled it out and did a shot. It's not very effective, and the planets don't look good again every time. They're colourful, but they don't look good. And obviously, the way this plays, how did the guy get injured? Why is he dying? It's brushed over to the nth degree. But it's so inorganic, and it doesn't feel right, and that's a shame. Because it could have easily been anything else. Like, you know, although I guess the problem is it's in his stomach, so they could have had like a stab wound or a bit of shrapnel. They have to have his face for later, and his stomach for later as well. So where can they hurt? Not many places, but I wish they'd had like some shrapnel in the shoulder that was like infected or something, you know?
Meh. Yeah. But then they damaged the shuttle, so they lock on with the tractor beam. Now, my question is, why don't you lock on another tractor beam onto the enemy ship? Find out who the fuck they are. Like,
that's true.
You're a Galaxy-class ship. You got more than one tractor beam.
Yeah.
You just let them fly away. You don't even fire a shot to disable their engines. You know, it's fine. You just attack one of our it's cool.
But yeah, didn't even think about that. There's no repercussions at all. Like,
and they're close. If you look at the Enterprise firing up the tractor beam, and then the angle and the width of the tractor beam in the shot, they're damn close to the Enterprise. I know it's visual effects, but whatever.
And that fighter thing, that's a one-man fighter. That is a tiny shuttle, tiny.
Yeah. Like
nothing. No, that you're right. That doesn't really work at all. It's like, what if they'd killed Riker and let it go? They don't know. They don't know if he's injured. He hasn't said, but he may be. And why couldn't they like scan it and keep track of it when it goes to the planet to know where it was and what? Like they say no one takes credit for it, which just instantly takes it out of the issue for the episode. It's like no, they attacked you.
It was a plot device.
Yeah.
It was a plot device for this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Not so good.
Squadron course $2. Picard didn't know jack about how to date Beverly. Ha 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 ha. That's a play on words.
That's pretty good. He was crushed.
And Olivia Julius $10.
Oh,
I love the idea. Oh my god. That was good.
Yeah.
I'll give you credit for that. That's good.
Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't hear. I was talking. I didn't mean to talk over you, but that was good.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It crushed her.
I said he got crushed, but yeah.
I know, but yeah, I made it better. Crushed her, like crush her.
Oh.
That big car didn't go after her. Crushed her. Anyway, Livy Julius, $10. I love the idea of Trills. The symbiotes gets to live all types of experiences, male or female, high ranking in Starfleet, or just being a career, just being with a career. I wish I could do that. What, be a Trill symbiote? Yeah. I mean, it'd be okay, I guess.
Well, it's both because you're an entity that is nothing in a sense. Like you're made up of each person. Every new body you're forced to live in if you want to exist changes your personality a little bit, and then as you get more and more complicated, you get less and less who you were originally. You know, like you're such an amalgam that and you have to say goodbye to all your bodies. You know, it's bad enough for the Doctor of Doctor Who. And you can't have relationships with people because you're not allowed to, or they have to last so many years. You can't have children because you can't have a heart. You can't even if you mate with another entity, they won't be you. They'll be the host, and the host isn't you. So you can never have children. You can never have. So it's actually a very lonely way. It really what you're doing is the Trill people are sacrificing their bodies and their lives to a higher being to live in. Like, this isn't some great, like, ooh, I get to be a Trill. Like, you're sacrificing yourself to gain the experience. You're giving up most of the things you get in your life. And you can't lose it because, like, Curzon died when it moved. So it's actually quite a weird thing. Does that make sense?
No.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yes, it did. I know what she was. I know what she meant though, but you just totally logicked her out of it, and you should not be a representative for the Trill species in any way.
Well, no. If you want to live like, if you want to, that's the thing. If you want to be part of the whole, it's more about you're gaining the experience of 800 years like that. You couldn't even imagine.
No, she wants to be the symbiote. She wants.
Oh, well, that's different.
Dax.
Hey, that's fine. Sure.
She wants to go from host to host and do different things. Yes.
Yeah, that's fine then.
So yeah, everything you said is.
Well, I never, I never talked about Trill in that way, so it was interesting. I never thought about it that way.
We'll have to do a live discussion on Trill someday.
Yeah, it's interesting.
We've got 3 super chats to read, but I want to get to this point real quick.
Yeah.
Captain, the shuttle hull has been weakened. We're breaking up. You can't tow us. You better beam us directly on board. No, can't beam me. I'll die. Oh, I can't stabilize the shuttle. If you transport me, I'll die. It's like, okay, I'll bring it in. Starfleet training. What are you like? We can replicate these things. It's fine. If you get a little scratch on it, whatever, just beam you out. You don't have to save it. Like, it makes you wonder how many times they sacrificed a ship or something when they could have actually saved the ship. I don't know. It's just a silly little thing, but it bugs me to no end. Delay that order, Captain. I'm bringing her in manually. Boy.
No, that's the.
And then we don't see it. We don't see it. We don't see how he does it. It's impossible for me to get back to the ship without the ship for shuttle.
I did it. I did it.
Oh,
I did it.
But I'll do it. Yeah, exactly.
And it's weird because there's so many things you. Hard, yeah. And I also wonder why the no beaming, because the no beaming is so they don't know their Trill, isn't it? Because it doesn't have the symbiote actually. We know it doesn't. I've got reasons for it later on why it wouldn't, but I don't know why it would. I'm assuming he still doesn't want to be known.
No, in this instance, it's because it would be damaging to the symbiote because the way they're connected, you can't beam. That's the way it's presented here.
Because the host is dying?
No, because anytime you transport, that's why he didn't want to transport earlier when he was perfectly healthy. It will kill the symbiote. That's how it's presented here.
But we know it won't.
No, we don't, because it's the first time we've ever seen it.
But we know it won't.
Later we do, yes.
Yes.
But it's a retcon, because this is presented as if you... Yes.
Yeah. But like I said, I like to think that it's more he doesn't want to be found out because it's the big secret of his world. If no one knows, they knows for a good reason. And I'll express. And I think what happened, simply put, with the Trill is that once they should join Starfleet, and obviously the secret got out here, all Starfleet had to do was just modify the software in the transporter to accept the life form and move on. Like, it was as easy as changing the software. They just haven't calibrated for Trill, and suddenly everyone could beam. That's why Jadzia could beam every other day, because it was programmed to. It was an easy fix. They just didn't want to let the cat out of the bag. What do you think?
No, it's just this has to be a thing for the script. They can't be transported. They'll die. We're never going to have these on again. It's fine. Oh, wait a minute. Our main character, one of our main characters is going to be Trill. Yeah, it's fine now. Yeah, it's kind of... Now, I just want to address something. S1 Noir. I must say you guys are unlucky to do a live during BlizzCon. Is there any significant overlap in viewers? Do you notice a dip? No, we got 74 people here. We usually have between 60 and 89, 90 people for these lives.
BlizzCon.
And we got 69 likes. Hit that like button, guys, if you haven't already. Olivia Julius, $5. How did they begin to do the symbiotic relationship? The Trill Bubble once say, "Hey Joe, watch this. I'm gonna put this worm in my belly." Yeah, you always wonder about how a lot of things start, but yeah.
Well, it's pretty much the entire lifespan of the planet. I'm assuming that at one point a guy fell into...
They were one entity, then they separated.
Maybe? I would just have assumed... Evolutionary
wise, I would say that's probably how it happened. And then they decided they needed to come back
together.
I
see what you mean. Like one set of the amphibians said, "Oh, I'll try legs today." I mean, obviously, you know what I mean. Like, genetically speaking, and then... Because they don't need each other to live. Most Trills don't get symbionts. There aren't that many symbionts. So it's a bonus thing. So they aren't interconnected unless they choose to be. They can both live without them. There's no problem. The symbionts can live in their ponds with no problem. And it's a bonus situation, not a must-have situation.
Yeah. Matthew K, $10. I
Oh,
heard
thank
the
you.
Trek Gates McFadden herself caught shit for the refusal of a lesbian relationship at the end of this episode.
Oh,
Have you heard of that? And is it true? Haven't heard
haven't
that,
had that.
and probably not true.
Yeah,
That
that
would have
doesn't.
extended that would have extended the episode. Like I like the way she explained it. We can't deal with these changes, so it's not how we're wired.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, I'm not against gay or lesbian relationships, but the person I was in love with became a guy. I don't think I'd be as interested. They could be my best friend, sure, but roommate maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not gonna want to. I'll keep quiet because he's gonna say something bad.
Yeah, well, it's a combination of everything. You fall in love with what you have. And changing. I mean, because the fact she accepted Riker mostly is very, very dodgy at best. We'll obviously get there soon.
It took her a while though. She was quite repulsed.
As she,
like,
well, yeah.
I can't do it. Yeah.
I mean, we're all different. I mean, but we also know later on that Trills aren't meant to even have those things. That he was out of line. He then she then he then she. But it's just it's like saying in some parts of the world, don't you want to be my wife number 6? It's normal in our culture, and we're like, no, that's not for me, because some people just aren't into that. It doesn't matter how much you might like. Some people might like that 6 wives. Some people might really not. So it's just personal preference. I mean, some people in the crew would be fine, but Beverly's not, and there's nothing wrong with her saying, no, I don't want to. Because think of it also, he, she, them. Trill's also an ambassador, and therefore that's a life that she have to leave her life. Like, there's no benefit to it really. It's fine that most relationships on a ship are either short term, like holiday flings, or they stay on the ship. Like how many long distance relationships do you really think any of them have? Probably very few to none. So fun while it lasted sort of situation.
Sean Corpier, $2. Did Riker get all the experiences and memories of Odan? No.
We'll get there.
This is treated as
yeah.
This is treated as the symbiote takes over completely.
Yeah.
The person just
yeah.
And even when they present the girl at the end, she walks in. I am here for the thing. Like, she has no fucking personality. Like, she's just literally a walking exosuit.
Yeah.
There's a real problem here with the Trill in this one.
Yeah. But he's dying for no reason. And then you get quite a good explanation, though. Like, I like how he explains it. I like the belly thing. The makeup's brilliant. The way it moves is brilliant. Very, very effective. Chest hair's brilliant. And even the way he acts, like, I buy it. It's a good bit of acting. So I appreciate the scene. And yeah, revelation. Revelation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she thinks he's got a parasite and they're going to do exploratory surgery. He's like, no, this is me.
I even quite like the fact that he mirrors her use of a parasite because that's what she understands, and then quickly moves on to symbiont. Like, it's such a shock that you can only take so much information, and that's a deliberate choice, etc.
He says symbiote. Like, he says something really weird.
Yeah, they swap that as well. Yeah. But it's a good explanation though. And it would have been quite a cool reveal the first time. It's super normal to us now.
Yeah, he basically says, I'm going to die. This is what needs to survive, because that is me. There is no me that's in there. And we need a replacement. Go get a replacement body. It'll be fine.
Yeah, and it's definitely, unfortunately, feels as if this body is disposable, beyond disposable. Oh, yep. He's almost dying. Kill him. And it's like, okay, that's a bit harsh. Maybe try and save a life because this guy is dying, and there's a weird disconnect. It kind of feels more like the Stargate a little bit, as if this is a Gould that's taken over a host, and he's saying, "Oh, fuck the host. I fuck the host. I don't care. He's got a paperclip. Kill him. I want a paperclip. Give me a new host. I don't care." Yeah, you're not meant to think about that hard, obviously.
Yeah. Bradley Weekland, $2.
Thank you.
Dax had a lot of relationships. Well, yeah, she had a lot of lives, or he had a lot of lives.
But none of them continued. That's the whole point.
Yes.
You're not meant to.
So anyway, we find out that Odin's body died, and the symbiote is alive.
And the way she says it is so clinical. Something about she has an instant disconnect with, oh, the body's dead. Like, it was a meat suit. It's weird considering how pally they were at the start. It's a real... I know she obviously...
I think it's shock at this point.
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%.
She's happy that he's alive in some form. Yep. But yeah.
Such a clinical I mean, she has to be. Like, my boyfriend just died. Yeah. But it's an interesting choice. Yeah.
But then we find out that, yes, the father and the grandfather, all these people that had done all these treaties before were all the same person, which bothers me again because that's not how it works, but that's okay.
Well, they're lying to the people, that's all. Like,
yeah. And then they say that's why he refused to transport it, would have damaged the symbiote. So anyway, they've contacted Trill, and another host will be here in 40 hours. In the meantime, I mean, Data offers, well, can I know it's got to be biological? And then Riker's like, hey, I'll take that bullet. I wouldn't mind getting me some Crusher action.
No, I love Data's little line there. The way he acts that is very sweet, actually. It's a nice little moment. Although, boy, Frakes' acting, I thought here was such a good, like, selfless. Like, this is talk about balls of steel and duty. Like, there's nothing in this for him. He might die. They have no idea what it'll do to him. You know, he's like saying, "I'll take the very first test vaccine that might save everyone. We have no idea what it's going to do to you, but it may help everybody. Okay, give it to me."
Well,
it's amazing, amazing. The balls on him, seriously.
Picard's like, I don't know what that'll do to you, and he's like, we'll wait against the prospect of war.
Amazing.
Well, then it's up to you. So.
But I mean, he's such a good guy. You know, has such selflessness. Wow, you know, and he doesn't, and you know, they don't know if Trills can be taken out. First of all, they haven't gone into that, and they don't know if they permanently like imprint the personality of the symbiote onto the human, or you know, not like it could forever damage his personality. They have no idea. That's what I'm saying. It's a massive deal. You know, what if he has nightmares for the rest of his life of things that the guy saw of Beverly's naked body? What, or you know,
I think they would have had like a conversation with Trill instead of, hey, yo, dude broke his phone case. Can you send another one? You think she'd be on a call a lot longer, being okay? I have a lot of questions.
Yeah,
if we need to do this, like...
No, you're right, and I wish they'd said that. They really should have. But I also think if they've stayed secret for 100 whatever years, at least 70, because Curzon was in the TOS era, and they're working on the Curzon, so at least sort of 70, 80 years. The Trill, are they really going to give away all their secrets over subspace? I can imagine they're still going to lie at a certain point and just say, yeah, we've got a new host, and just go into no details, you know? It's like, you're not that paranoid, that secret unless you've got a reason to. But yeah, just seriously, what a great Riker moment.
Sean Corpier, $2. Riker's always trying new experiences. Well, yeah, Starfleet. But anyway, yeah, they can't put him out. They have to give him local anesthetic. They're going to cut him open because it might affect the symbiote. And get shades of gray. Flashbacks here with him rolling his eyes. And anyway, laser scalpel's cool. Got to say that was a neat little... And even the reversal to close it. It's like, okay, fine.
And cool symbiote. Very neon sci-fi.
Rocking under a black light. Created a rave.
But that is how it looks in every other iteration. So well done, even Discovery. At least they didn't change that. Looks the same. Less neon, but design's the same.
Yeah.
Although, boy, do we really have space in our body for something that... Like, seriously,
I was thinking that.
What is moving? Like, is that not squishing all of your organs? Like, maybe it helps feed you, but I don't know if we have excess space in our bodies. And he wasn't as chunky as he is now, you know?
He should have had, like, a belly, like, when the hat was in there. Like, it was...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm carrying a symbiote right now. I'm usually skinny. But, like, I got that symbiote right there. Oh. It's a big one, too. Hey.
It loves those hot wings. But it is a bit weird. Like, the choice to make it that big was quite an odd choice, given how like lack of space we have. And great to see Ogawa. Well, you know, credit to Ogawa. Doesn't say anything, but she's there.
Not a band account, $2.
Yes.
Is Jonathan Frakes also a really nice guy in real life? Yes.
Yeah, I managed to meet him.
I've met him a few times. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff with him, and I know he is. But he's better when he's awake and less stressed. Because when I met him in Vegas, that was at the end. Wrong time to say hi, but I hadn't said ever had. He's never come to the UK, so or he hasn't for 7 years, whatever. But I'd like to meet him properly. Does seem nice.
I got Eastland. No, I got a family of symbiotes, not just 2 in there. I got a whole family living in there. Anyway, so yeah, they can't close right away because it hasn't integrated, and then all of a sudden we get somebody off screen. It's integrated. Okay, close up. It's like, what? How do you know what happened? Anyway,
yeah,
it would have been better to have somebody honestly from Trill on one of the monitors.
Ooh, that'd be nice. That'd be
like
good.
monitoring what's going on, right? Because honestly, you're gonna try this on your own first, and later she says, "Medical school didn't prepare me for this." Really? You're in Starfleet. What are they teaching you if not to deal with like weird shit?
You're also one of the leading people in the field. I mean, literally the field of the. But also, what did she do? She lasered him. She put a thing in his body. She watched monitors. She lasered him back up, and she drugged him.
Oh, she gave him an injection of something to stabilize his whatever.
Which is for the host and not for the symbiont. So actually, sorry, Beverly, your job did prepare you for that. Because you did a very simple procedure. Like, the symbiote did all the work, Beverly. Apart from the laser cutter. That was great. Well done, you. You got a steady hand.
Quadricore is $2. Is that a symbiote in your... Or are you just happy to see me?
Oh.
Wow. See, my symbiote's too big. The tail's been hanging out for years. No, that's okay.
So anyway, he wakes up and we get the tagline of the episode, Dr. Beverly, which is an effective thing. It's a little bit, I guess, more cringy as we go, but it's effective at least. And then Frakes is good at acting as not Riker. He's obviously acting more, like he's not being natural, but it's effective. So I'm not gonna. It feels more theatery and stage sort of play-y.
Yeah. Fleet Paw Swiftback $2. Fleet Paw's here. Let's get to 100. We have 82
Ooh,
guys.
Yeah.
Let's get 8 more. Let's try to get to 90. I'm sure we can get to 100, but let's do baby steps.
Yes.
Let's get to 90. 8 people haven't hit that.
And they should. They should.
Right on.
And guys, $20. What do you guys think? Have us some comments. Will be good.
Yeah. Here he explains, you got to get the both representatives to understand what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
The man, I was the person that they've already dealt with. The man they knew as my father was me, essentially. Mm-hmm. And she's open to it. She's like, I can't promise they'll listen, but okay.
Well, it's quite a big thing to throw out there,
Yeah. Yes. Basically he gets dizzy. They take him back to his quarters, and Picard's like, Beverly, will you go take care of him in his quarters? And then there's a really awkward moment where she's like doing all the medical stuff she's got to do. Got signs of rejection and all that, but making sure you're okay. And he just wants to be like, I want to touch you. Is that Riker talking? What? He said that to me last week. I don't know. This is an interesting scene and well played, actually. Even like she gets mad because why didn't you tell me this like yesterday? Well, because why didn't you tell me you were a single being? You just don't think of it. It's something that I just am. And he's got a very good point. What are the chances that something like this would have happened, really? So she has no real reason to be mad at him.
Well, that's the nice thing about it. They're all right. And it's from a perspective-based life. It's like, if you're gay, do you need to tell people? Like, unless you're approaching a guy, it's like, does it matter? Unless it matters. But if you're approaching a guy and you're gay, it doesn't matter. Because you're approaching a guy and you're being obvious. You know what I mean? So it's the context. Yeah. You're a life form that likes another life form. Why would it matter? I wonder if this implies that he's dated other Trills before. Because if this is his first relationship or like first go getter, he doesn't even think. Because you would think the more you are out there exploring, the more you would realize. Like, guess you should say, hey, by the way, I'm 2 life forms. Hashtag. Or really, I'm 1 life form and another life form. Actually.
He probably did. He probably said a lot of things like, I find you really attractive, and so does my little guy.
Yes. No, that's great. Yeah.
I did try telling you many times about my little guy down there, but what were you thinking?
I was thinking you were being modest. You're huge. Yes, I know, but the other guy. No, that's good. I like that.
Literally, the other guy, little guy down there.
Yeah. In there, yeah. But no, it's a scene that you can watch 2 very distinct ways, which I really like about it, because if you just take him as do a deep fake actually of Frakes for the original actor, play the same scene with him as the guy, he's being consistent. He's like, well, we made out this morning, we had sex this morning, I have not changed, and because I'm controlling Riker, none of Riker is in me, I am exactly the same guy. Why is this different? This is my 19th body, why are you... So I love that, he's very consistent, and obviously Beverly's instantly this wall of like, I'm looking at Riker, no, end of. But you understand both, and you can imagine his heartbreak is like, why is she being different to me? You know, it's like when your wife is pissed at you because they act differently. It's like, what happened? I didn't do anything. What happened? But I know something's wrong. You know. So it's a like, you know, we haven't got to the crux of the issue yet, but it's a good, understandable scene. But I think, you know, obviously he would have told her pretty quickly had he wanted to have a relationship with her in the long term. Especially if, you know, the stomach's going to go blah, 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 moving. It's like, why is your stomach 4 times the size? You know.
Big Pot Swift back $2. Oh, I read that one already. Never mind. We don't have a new super. Oh, that's what I was going to say. 2 more likes to get to 190. Good damn. Sorry, my brain just froze for a second there. Anyway, we find out about her first love. His name was Stefan. He was a soccer player. They had twins, and then they had a girl. And he created great art, and he fell in love with her eventually. Only she was 8 and he was 11. Never happened. Yay! What? I remember watching this the first time, going, "Who? What?" But he didn't mention Wesley. What? And then I was 8. He was 11. Okay, great.
Yeah, it's weird. It's I mean, it's good for the actress, but. Yeah, it should have been Jack, and it should have been like, and then he died. You know, it should have been something real, because it devalues Jack a whole ton. Or she's lying and saying, and this feels like a fairy tale too. You know, there's a lot of better ways you could play the scene. Well, the acting's great.
Well, she did kind of say that, where she said, "Should I just mourn him and move on?" Or was it his eyes, his hands that I loved, or was it something deeper? Like, she's just saying that, like, what should I do? Which is actually a great question in this regard. Like, what was it that she loved? Because when she looks at Will, all she sees is a friend, a coworker that she's known for years. You know, like, that would be really, really weird. I'm sorry. And then he comes in, and she's like, "No, I don't want to see him." It's a good, again, well acted scene, well written, very realistic, and kudos to them. That was a good scene.
But my issue is that I don't understand Troy here. Because she's like, Beverly, do you still like him? Do you want to bang my ex-boyfriend? His body?
Look at him.
But there's such a disconnect, as if the writer didn't realise that they were together once, because she doesn't give away. I don't think Riker would be okay with this. I don't think Troy's giving Beverly permission to bang Riker's body without Riker's permission.
Nothing having to do with banging. It's all about, like, if you could have the chance to speak to if I could have the chance to speak with my father again, I would take it. He's not dead. He's right there. Go and talk to him. Get the love where you can. That's not applying sex at all in this conversation.
But this has been days. So this morning she was all in love with him. And obviously, you know, Riker is looking longingly in a weird sort of like, "Oh, I miss you" way. Like, and also, surely Troy's also sensing both her emotions. So there is, you know, I just think I guess Troy is so species green that she can say, "Oh, you're not really having sex with Riker, my ex-boyfriend who I love, who I'm going to marry one day." It's just she's so disconnected from her own feelings. I would have thought, what would she should say? Well, what would Will want? Because the fact that Riker has no say in this makes it somewhat rapey.
Yep.
Which is not really okay. And Beverly doesn't. He doesn't even bring that up. And who say Riker wouldn't enjoy the opportunity, but he didn't get a say, and that doesn't feel quite right. Unless you argue that because he consented his body being used, he consented his body being used. But that's why, at least with the later symbionts, they're a dual personality. This, it is not. Riker is suppressed, he is not there. And so I just don't like how Troy handles this. It feels really inorganic, and like so the writers didn't know they were together, is what it feels like to me.
I respectfully disagree. And just the way that it's worded, it's just all about, sort out your feelings with this guy.
Yeah.
Don't go ride his pogo stick. Just go talk to him because he's still alive. He's right there. Anyway. So, we don't know what happens there because then they're in the conference room and he's like, don't worry, they won't know there's a problem. They come in and he's like, your aunt was the one I dealt with, and I dealt with you when you were younger. Great scene. Absolutely love this. We kind of saw the same thing with the old admiral way back in season 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Talking about somebody you've already dealt with.
Yeah, and it was nice that one of them was actually there. That was a nice touch. Yeah.
And the one guy quelled a plot to assassinate the other one. That nobody knew about that, so he mentioned that. And that's the guy. It's funny. The guy he's already dealt with, the old guy, the one that quelled the plot to assassinate the other party, is the one that's like, oh, I got to go talk to my people. The other guy's like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm cool to accept this guy as is. Let's talk. And the guy's like, no, I got to go talk to my people. Okay, well, you got 8 hours. It's like, what? You think it'd be the other way around, that the new guy, the younger one, would be like, I got to go talk. Because you're less experienced, you haven't dealt with the guy before. You think he'd be the one that'd be a little bit cautious, where the other guy might be a little more accepting because he's got more experience, the age, knows the other. Riker knows the story about what happened. It just seemed a little weird to me, a little bit role reversally, but
yeah, that's okay. It's a good scene in general, and I really appreciate the layers here because. They start scene by saying, are you going to be okay with this? And he's like, I will be okay with this. And you can tell he's struggling, but he really pushes forward. But obviously he's got makeup to make him look more drained. But I love the balance. It's Frakes acting as alien who's trying to act okay, who's got an underlayer of pain, who's also trying to be friendly and negotiate. There's a lot of levels here, and he nails them all. So well done to Frakes for delivering a good... And the way... At the end, it's like, oh, my brain. It's great. It's great. It's a really good performance-based thing.
Yeah, the ending was great when they walked out. Even before they were out the door, he was like, ugh. Sean Corpier, $2. Maybe Riker was interested in Crusher and the only way in. Dun, dun, dun. Maybe. Then we get the sickbay scene where she's like... his body's rejecting this thing. There's not much I can do, really. This is where she says medical school didn't exactly train me for this. And he says, Picard's like, meet me in my ready room when you're able to. And then they have the whole, please don't touch me. And he's like, I just want to touch you. And she's like, no. And she recoils away. Yeah. Actually well acted because... Yeah, she's not interested at all.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Especially as I can see, he gets drugged and he suddenly feels clear-headed. So he's like, I only need this opportunity. And Ian can tell he's like, I can think clearly. Yeah.
Have you wondered how weird this is, though? They were in the briefing room right behind the bridge. Then they went down to sickbay. Then he went from sickbay to the ready room. It's like you were already...
Yeah, but
there's no indication of how much time's passed. Probably hours by this point, but...
Well, no, they said the other lady was like 40 hours away, the Trill lady, so it's all in a day and a half.
Yeah, well, I know, but the next scene in the ready room, it starts with the line, it was a fast decision. So let's take this as being positive.
3 hours. Like, way less than
exactly.
is the vibe I got. Although, boy, I always like, when he said 8 hours, I was like, do you have 8 hours? Give him 3! Like every hour is bad. I felt that was. I mean, it's not 24. We normally get like, tell me in 24 hours. Like it's like when on the view screen they're like, tell us in 4 hours, and we're like, what do you what? That's a long time to prep a spot.
4 of your Earth hours.
It's like half an hour is fine. Like I mean, 25 minutes if you really want to push me. Yeah, it's weird.
Oh yeah, that was on Stargate last night.
Yeah?
Colonel Shepard was like, "You have 30 of our Earth minutes." And they're like, "Earth minutes?" Yeah, I've always wanted to say that. Well, there you said it now. Squadra course $2. That Trill ambassador, it's a freak. That's good. You deserve a Nobel Prize in puns because that's good. Speaking of Colonel, what's his nuts? Ever get the feeling that he's exactly like Jack O'Neill? Like they wrote those lines for Jack O'Neill and didn't change the character one goddamn bit for the new guy? That really bugs me.
Oh, from Atlantis. Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, Mitchell. No.
Yes.
No, they're different enough. I mean, Ben Bradley has a different quirk. But they obviously want
but everything he says would be a snarky remark that O'Neill would say. I don't know.
No, because he's smarter than... Well, he's more outwardly smarter than O'Neill. O'Neill's more like to the core. I know what you mean, but I think I'll give him more credit for having different variants. And in fact, Ben Browse was originally wanted to be the main character of Atlantis. So they had him like right from 2 or 3 years earlier. Like they knew they wanted him to be a potential sort of leading man. Yeah.
Well, anyway, ready room.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Can't remember this scene. Remind me.
Remind you what?
Can't remember what happens in the scene. Remind me.
I'm trying to remember myself because I'm reading the dialogue. Just like the reasonable people. Oh, and this. Hope nothing goes wrong. And Riker's like, what does he say exactly? Oh, then it's my job to see that nothing goes wrong. And Picard gives him a look. Did I say something wrong? No, it's just that you very much sounded like Will Riker there for a second. It's definitely a Riker line. New host to be here in 18 hours. Yeah, that's it. Then we cut to Lemon Tea scene in her quarters, staring at the rose. He's being all stalker-otsy and says, "Computer, where's Dr. Beverly?" In her quarters. And then we see her sit down and look at the rose. And then he wants to make balso tonic, and the computer's like, no. And I'm just killing time. I see you typing, so I'm just like, there's nothing going on here anyway. They basically decide he gives up. She comes to his room, and he's all happy. Yay!
It's all. Yeah, it's almost tension filled. I like the fact that she goes to him. That's not what you thought was going to happen. So I like that slight reversal. But it's something about it still feels off. I mean, obviously it's weird, but it doesn't quite connect properly. The way it's played and the interplay. You can imagine. I know the music and stuff helps, but Frakes they're just like right, Frakes, walk up, ask for a thing, and leave. Is that it? Yeah. It's but make it take 7 seconds. And it's like, okay, like it's such an abstract thing. It needed more payoffs. But then
Computer, I want a Big Mac.
Yeah,
have it on file. Write a molecular thing.
I brought a USB. It's fine. But I will say the acting of these two when they actually get to the door frame, considering like the way they tremble and their voices is very intense. Like that, they're really in that moment, and you can tell they're definitely pulling from something. Each of them, like some sort of, like you feel a little bit of electricity, which is weird because you really shouldn't. But all I kept thinking was, and now Frakes, you've known this woman for several years, you get to kiss her. Cool, good job. Actor to actor, experiencing the joys of acting. Because she's also killed. She also kissed Picard before, hasn't she? Gates in the show. Beverly's kissed Gates.
She what?
Beverly's kissed Picard before.
I
think so.
Don't think so. I don't think so. Anyway, regardless, it's the hard cut to like an hour, 10 minutes later. They've fucked already. I don't know.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yep.
And then she's all of a sudden up in the ready room with whatever.
But now he's dying.
It's really jumpy all over the place now that we're trying to describe what the hell's happening.
Yeah, the second half it starts to like they've had a big build and now it's just kind of I'm assuming though is the jump cuts help to imply passage of time. So every time we jump cut to a more harsh scene, it gets worse. But yeah, it certainly disconnects as further we go. At least I like.
It's fine. It's fine to watch though.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
to describe is not fun. Just saying.
No. But I like his acting for sure. And the way this is very important. Even though I may have semi-abused my host by not doing his wishes to have sex with a coworker, I will let myself die to save him. Like very very blatantly risk death to save him, and I might be 800 years old. And you get complete sincerity from that performance. I really appreciate that. He understands what, why, and how, and this was all for the mission. And after that, what happens will happen. So I like the performance a lot, and it certainly elevates the character from being a little bit creepy, like a little bit, Riker's done enough. We get
the no matter what, I got to come out of his body or he's gonna die. Like I have respect for this guy's body. I'm not gonna sacrifice his life to save my own. And then Picard's like, I don't know whatever I'll say to you, I'm your friend. You can talk to me. And then hug. It's good.
And again, you can see that he is obviously feeling many emotions, and they're on the same place. Because it's like, I mean, what do you want here? And it's good. It's unusual scene for them, but it does make you wish they had at least something together at some point to kind of really back this all up, Although he also looks so much older now compared to the two guys he's currently dating. Like Riker and the whatever and Rasa both look much younger, and it's like, are you really gonna go to the older guy? You get younger guys. Why get Picard? I just thought that in the scene.
But
another hard cut from Picard to Picard, and another weird 6
hours.
Yep.
They've been in there 6 hours. Oh, by the way, the Trill ship is being delayed now. What? It's going to be another 9 hours, I think. Oh, yes, 9 hours. And she's like, that's too much time. And then he comes out and says, it was worth it. I'm going to die now. And he falls on the floor. And he looks like shit, by the way. Good makeup job. They really made him look haggard. So.
I love the line, it was worth it.
And then let's get everybody off the ship and then prepare to go to Warp 9.
Yeah.
So hurry your asses down to Deck 3 to the transporter room. Get the fuck off my ship. Bye. Boom. Gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you gotta, how does that go? You gotta kind of move it along, guys. Let's go.
But you never see this. Like, and I think we're all left wondering, because they never do this. So it's like, well, 9 hours, he's dead. Or we could go meet them. Like, it's such a simple solution, but I appreciate it. Although, I was kind of wondering, because it's like, it'll take 2 hours. I'm thinking, we'll go 9.3. That would be like 1 hour 30 or less. It's like, you could easily make that difference just by going a bit faster. But no, it's good. It suddenly really adds a bit of energy to the end, because, it's good.
And Sean Corpay puts in $2. Reminds me of the TOS episode with Pulaski. Well, which one? Because she was in 2. I think you mean the one with Zardon, where they inhabit Kirk, Spock, and Pulaski's body. Because it's not the one where she's blind. I don't think that you're talking about. So.
And guys, we're 4 likes away from 100, and we are $28 away from where we need to be minimum. So 28. That's not a lot. You can get there. A couple of 5. See what you think as we get close to the final review score. Well, I think fair to say it's not a quick wrap up this week because it all kind of like simmers down.
Yeah. Anyway, Riker's okay. He's sleeping now. His vital signs are returning to normal. How's Odan doing? He's fine. You should go get some rest. No, I'm not going to. I'm going to wait here. But it's going to be a long time before I don't care. Okay, fine. Bye.
Yeah, I liked her. I know that.
Yeah.
Although it's funny.
And then her sleeping on the bio bed next scene. That's great.
All I could think was, she has all of the drugs. Good to go. Like, they have stims for a reason. I'm just saying,
Yeah. But then Worf comes in. Doctor. Oh, is the Trill host here? Yes. Bring him in. And Worf's got that look on his face like, okay. And then she comes in, and I hate this. I hate this so much. She walks in, Doctor, I am Carell. I am to become the host to Odan. And actually, Gates' acting here is great. She turns around with this big smile on her face, like, I hope you're hot. Shit. Anyway.
Yeah, I think you can sort of see it coming in a sense, because it's such a thing. And yeah, her being asleep is a lovely little touch. The fact that also the room's empty, like it's clearly like 5 a.m. off shift. They're not busy. Right, we've got to go. And yeah, that pissed me off in abstract. The acting of her was like, oh, this is who you chose, really. But it's the contrast, isn't it? She has no personality, and then she does have personality, which might argue that maybe the Trill people aren't really interesting. Maybe they're really bland people, and you need a symbiote to be interesting. That's where the personality comes from, because so bland. My God.
Well.
What?
When she contacted Trill to say we need a new phone case for Odan, he broke his last one. She didn't specify the color. No, she didn't say a black one, so they sent a pink one.
Although, to be fair, if Odan chose or was offered 3 hosts and they're all men, I'm assuming this is the closest one. So I am assuming that Odan's will be removed from this host, like, and go into a more permanent one. This is an emergency host. That does happen. So I'm just saying, I don't know why you'd stick with the one that you've had no choice in.
Yeah. Bradley Weekland, $5.
Thank
yes, you. Crusher and Picard kiss in that episode that they are telepathically linked, and we haven't watched that one yet. And maybe the one where they feel drunk. They don't kiss in that. They're flirting, but there's no actual kissing that we see. And the one where they're telepathically linked, we have not got to yet, because that I think is 2 seasons away. But so yes, as of right now, they haven't kissed yet. So that's what we're talking about. Jeff Jacobs, $2, just dropped in for a like. Hashtag 102pay. Hashtag make Jeff pay. We have 103 right now, which is awesome. So thank you. Sean Corpier, $2. Picard, don't tap the glass. Tap, tap. And Fleet Paw Swiftback, $2. 101 likes. Awesome. Yeah. Here she says that the operation was completed at 1900 hours. So, and it appears to be successful.
And then
she comes in.
Yeah, and decent acting here. I'll be fair. You know, I wouldn't say necessarily feels like the guy, but I mean, all your body language is gonna be different if you're a woman to a man. Like that is your body structure is different. Like hips are bigger. You got it is a different framing. So obviously you're gonna act differently. Maybe not that much, but but I do like the balance though. It starts more professional, and then you can tell she's kind of testing the waters of how she's gonna respond to me. Like I like the kind of gentle build until they use the word love, and then it kind of escalates. But there's obviously the disconnect. But it's yeah. What do you think?
It's a well-played scene, and I don't know why anybody would have an issue with it or say that she refused to do a scene with lesbian. Like, I don't think that's the thing. I know that the writers were a little bit shy about doing a few things back then, just because of the climate.
They would have to be. I mean, the TV was evolving.
Yeah, the one with Jonathan Frakes and the species that's
non-binary. Or,
they still cast a woman and stuff. That wasn't the original plan. But last minute they changed it because they didn't want the censors to. They didn't want to get in trouble. So it's not really. Anyway, this scene is done very well, and I really appreciate the whole thing she says about we're just not wired that way. Like maybe one day we'll be able to accept that, but.
And that was honestly, a we, as in us, the species, not we, you and me. It's a well played we.
Yes.
No,
and Misha puts in $20.
Oh my goodness!
Comment, but that is awesome. Thank you so much.
It was a comment of. I like what you do a lot. An orange amount. That is incredible. Thank you. That says a lot. That actually really helps the end goal because we managed to jump a lovely rung of our minimums. That makes a difference, for sure.
Thank you, sir.
But and I honestly, this is one of the scenes where I probably think less is more. Having that kiss on the arm is the thing we've set up. A kiss on the lips is it almost feels doing it for the sake of it. This has been set up. This has a certain power. It's like, and I noted this, the fact that as she walks out of the room, she does not look back at Beverly is a symbol, because that would be a normal thing to do. It's the symbolic of I am now moving on. So by going from a kiss on the lips to kiss on the arm, that goes from being the physical love to the emotional love, to then I'm moving on. So it's absolutely appropriate. Completely appropriate. It works.
The last thing she says to Beverly is, "I do love you. Please remember that." Gives her a kiss and says, "I will never forget you." And yes, walks away, doesn't look back. So, good wrap up. I did that the first time I did a super chat with no. Okay. Well, Misha hasn't. Yeah. Eric's like, I did that the first time, super chat with no comment, technical difficulties. If Misha has anything to say, just put it in the regular chat. We will read it. Yeah, thank you so much. No, good episode. But now is the time of the episode where it's time for you guys to super chat your scores. If you super chat them, I will read them after we give our scores as well. We're doing for all of TNG and for season 4.
Stuart, you just said it's a good episode, but the start was a crap episode. Did I convert you a bit?
It's still a shit episode. I don't enjoy it.
It's a good episode.
But I can appreciate it for being good piece of writing and television and acting, but I can also say it's a shit episode because that's my judging system.
And that is totally fair. Good for you.
I'll still go with a good score because I score according to
gut reaction.
Yeah. Anyway.
Good for you, man. Good for you. Good for you.
Super chat your scores out of 10.
Yes.
For all of TNG.
Yes.
And season 4.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll give our wrap ups and then I'll read the super chat ones. And if anybody wants to just put the regular chat, just go in the chat. Samuel will read those.
Because I honestly have no idea what you guys are going to give. I don't know. I'm going to give. Don't know what you're going to give. I have no idea what the average is going to be here. So
I still don't know what I'm going to give yet.
So. Yeah. And guys, 19 more bucks. Let's be lovely and gentle because that is really, really good. All we sort of need. Yeah, sure. I mean, I think this one. I'm not giving my full review. I'm just going to briefly say I think it's a good discussion. Although I think we found that at a certain point it kind of starts to lose its way a little bit as a debate topic. But it's quite rich for when it's rich. So, an interesting episode for sure.
Yeah, well, you're gonna give your wrap up first because we asked you first what you thought of it. So let's keep that going. You do your scoring and stuff first, so I can decide what I want to score it because I really don't know yet.
I like it. No, it's good. It's one of those ones where it's a better concept and acting than it is enjoyable Star Trek, because I don't watch Star Trek for this, as you either. But it's not deniably good piece of entertainment. Now it could be lots of other shows, as we often say. But the fact that Trill is such an important part later does ground it heavily. You add all those extra information, like watching TOS, having watched the TOS movies, you like Chekhov, even though there's so few scenes with them, etc., etc. So it's definitely. Oh, I should probably talk to the thumbnail. So it is good. It is good, and it's good because it's unusual, and everyone does their job well. But it's obviously there's not enough science in it, not enough ships in it. You know, classic stuff for us. But you can't deny what it does well. Yep. But it has some flaws. Pacing is probably one of its weakest things, and it almost fully achieves the how do we deal with a symbiont and a human personality. But the fact they never mention Riker's feelings, and they needed to have a scene afterwards of Riker, or Beverly walking to Riker. So after the scene with the ambassador, walk up to Riker and saying, "How's it going, Will?" "Oh, fine." "Or do you remember?" Just a big blur of negotiation. Like either he doesn't remember it, or he does and he's okay with it. Like there's no ever resolution, and I don't feel fully comfortable with that.
And she should give him a wink and say, "Don't worry, I'll get that mole on your little Willy taken care of."
Yes, yeah. Too many ingrown hairs, Will. Like I'm fine. He'd be okay to sleep with her. Like they're adults. Like that's not the issue. It's just like later Trill concept. It would be fine. Both like everyone's in the picture. And actually, let's talk about that now before we do the wrap-up, because that's a big thing. It's clearly taking over bodies, is how they present it here. Yes. It's totally different.
That's one of the things that takes away from this episode for me personally, is the fact that the Trills come in so important later, that this is so removed from that. It should be another species. That should change the name Trill in this one, or retcon it so that at least they look the same as Trill. Like that's one thing that kind of bothers me a little bit, but it's one of the problems with fucking with your canon. With things you've already established, like don't do that. They're there for a reason. Use it. Own it.
And it would be fine if they retconned it to say, he was such an old Trill that he was able to take control and like he had to, like, the part of his, you know what I mean? Or
but then it becomes like the Gaul.
Yes, it does. Nope, 100%. Yep.
You can't swap out like we can with the Tok'ra. No, that's not cool.
Yeah, no, it's tricky, and it does feel weirder this way because they never even address other memories, like overall. I mean, they never go into the art of blending or gaining memories. It is just, he is my meat puppet, and it is weird. It is yeah. It's a more graphic sort of situation, and Jadzia would be far less interesting if that was the case, because Jadzia isn't Jadzia. Jadzia is this thing in her belly.
Yeah,
that's the end. There is no story there. There is no longevity.
Unfortunately, you have to hold it up with Discovery, and it's never been in a human before. We don't know what'll happen. Weird things. What? Yeah. There's that too. I mean, he had instant access to all of his memories, no issues. Sure, he wasn't feeling well. His body was rejecting it. White blood count up, whatever, white blood cells. But I don't know. It's just a few little issues like that are kind of problematic for me. But yeah. Anyway, what's your scores?
How many other scores do we actually have in the chat? Appeal respond to my request?
Yes, a few. There's a few super chat scores. Well, 2, and then about 4, 5 of the regular scores. So
score wise. For this season, probably a 5. All of TNG, I think I'll go 5 as well. I think it doesn't really excel in anything, and the TNG is such a good show. That's the problem. TNG is such a good show.
Yeah.
And this season is such a good season that it's not bad almost in any way. Like it doesn't do the rapey stuff that the teleport empath with Troy did, so we avoid all that. He's actually quite well acted, but doesn't really excel in anything. Yeah. So I'm gonna give average. I could probably be convinced to go higher, but it doesn't grab me, and I know it doesn't grab you either. So what do you give me your review then?
Like I said, the relationship stuff felt very natural. She really, like, they played off each other very well. It seemed very like, public displays of affection, a little bit too much so, but that's okay. That's the point. So that was great. The acting was good. The writing was good. The scenes with her and Deanna, both in 10 Forward and earlier when it's more playful in the salon, were perfectly done. They felt very naturalistic. They felt like something that best friends would say. Yeah. And that's that true. Was great. It didn't feel forced at all. Most of this episode didn't. There are a few moments that did, but the issues I have with it, of course, are the loading phasers. Can we get the shuttle back? No. Oh, maybe we can. Yeah, sure we can. Why not?
Yeah, and I didn't clock that, but I knew something was wrong there. So thank you for making me see.
Yeah, and the whole 6 hours to orbit, like right there.
Yeah.
Again, this was somebody that writes for regular TV and knows how to do people drama, but doesn't know anything about sci-fi. There's just too many weird sci-fi problems with it that aren't Star Trek.
Yeah.
So that being said, as a good piece of definitely moral issues that, there's a lot of like relationship, and it takes it to a sci-fi premise a little bit, but at the same time it's all very relatable. So that was done very well in my opinion.
That is the problem with being this season, and like
for this season, honestly, for this season I'll probably give it a 6 out of 10 because it is well written and well acted. Like, that, you can't take that away from it.
Yeah.
No Geordi.
No.
Data's very minimal. Picard seems very off, very distant.
Now, that makes sense though.
Rightfully so.
Yes.
I'm getting there. Rightfully so, but at the same time, I wish this would have been referred to later. Like it's one of those tropes of this time period of television. All the shit that happened this week, we're never going to mention again. The fact that you had sex with each other, and Picard was jealous. That should play more into the future episodes. So yeah, I'm going to give it I said a 6 out of 10 for this season. For all of Trek,
all of TNG.
All of TNG. We're gonna have to give it a 5, I think. Yeah, I think I'll give it a 5.
It's tricky, isn't it?
It is.
Like, if this was season 1 or 2, way higher.
Yes, absolutely.
But that's not where it is. And there are so many better episodes, but there's so many worse episodes.
And if you're judging acting, if you're judging script writing, and just having it feel like that's something that would happen in your life, this fits that mold.
Yeah.
Because it feels so natural, but
it doesn't grab you. It doesn't use the entire cast. Yeah. I think you've convinced me to up both my scores to 5.5. I think because you're right. The writing helped. So I'm 1 below you for the season and 1.5 for the. I think because So it's above average, and it feels harsh to say that, but it's just. But the thing is, we also like different things, as into the general. There's some people love the romance stuff, some people really don't. So it's relative. I'm sure some people don't like the one with Hathaway and the Ferengi because it's like, what's the point? We love it. Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's just a piece of Star Trek that's like, if it's on, cool, I'll watch it. I'm never gonna seek it out.
Well, it's definitely one that if you want to learn about the characters, like if you want to read, like,
if you want to learn about the Trill, this is the one to go to. This is the go-to episode of Trill. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into some of the super chat scores. Sean Corpier, $2. Love Crusher, 6 out of 10. Fleet Paw Swiftback, $2. 3 out of 10 for both. Introduced the Trill, but meh. Eric Martin, $2. 9 out of 10 for the series. Wow, 3 out of 10 for the episode. Okay. Sean Corpier, $2. I hope she shows up in Picard. Beverly or this other Odan lady? Sean Corpier, $2. Would Picard be jealous of Riker? We'll see. It's funny enough, I just watched the episode with the 2 Rikers. And I was watching that, and that one's going to be fun to discuss because I would be so pissed off at myself. Like, you snobby little fuck. Because I know it's going through your mind. And would you be jealous of yourself? Like, that's just dumb. But at the same time, it's like...
Man, no, you'd be more jealous of yourself. Because you know how good it would be. Because it's your body. And you're not getting it. No, you'd be more jealous.
I know. See, that's going to be an interesting discussion when we come to that one. But
yeah, that's definitely a good one.
I don't think he'd be jealous. I don't think he'd be jealous of Riker at all. Because as we kind of established in this, Riker wasn't there. Riker was pushed aside.
Riker wasn't there, man. He wasn't there.
That's a problem.
I could imagine if you're doing this would be a fun fan film. Like I can imagine a post-credit scene where Troy's in 10 forward with a drink, and Picard walks up to her, sits down, and says, and they're both like, "Yep, drink," because each of their exes, they both got caught. They both got caught in this. They both feel the exact same emotions. You know what I mean? Like they both have the exact And now they're gonna bang just to get over with them. It's like, what?
I was just gonna say they're gonna
revenge sex. Yeah.
They're gonna
Oi.
clink glasses and be like, let's go do this thing.
Oh goodness! Please no.
So we'll have a foursome at that point.
Yeah.
Orville Nation puts in $5.
Hey, good to see you.
Are you guys excited for Orville season 3? I love you guys. Absolutely, we are excited for Orville season 3. We love Orville. And yeah, definitely looking forward to more.
We wish it would come out in 2020. We were waiting. We were primed. everyone is upset because it hadn't. But I just hope Seth hasn't. Cause I know he's rewritten a lot of the season 3 stories. I hope he isn't going to focus on the pandemic, like make that a big deal of it, because that will age the show into this era. Date it. Whereas I like shows that aren't dealing with the pandemic that are being made now, because they will just be a thing. Like we don't, we do our own thing, and it's not really whatever. But hopefully they can. There'll definitely be smaller scale shows than the second half of the season, obviously. But I mean, just like with Wrath of Khan, oh no, we can't have big group shoots. Okay, we'll have more personal character stuff. What a shame. And just hope for a season 4. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think?
Yep.
4 more likes, $5 more. End on a simple high.
Yes, let's get. Yeah, there's the last super chat slot is there. Orville Nation has it, so good job. You can snipe for it if you want the last super chat slot. And let's get 4 more likes.
Yeah.
Get to 115. That's a good number. 4 people out there haven't hit like, and I think Orville Nation, you're probably one of them. I'm just calling. It seems like you just showed up.
Yeah, maybe. It's a gentle call out. But I gotta say though, I'm sure we're both a bit nervous about this one being less well viewed and less super chats. But hey, you guys are killing it. Really happy to see. Certainly makes these always good to do, which is great for sure.
And next up for next week is The Mind's Eye.
Yes, now that has a lot of the stuff we like.
Let's see, which one is that? Oh yeah, that's where Geordi gets kidnapped by Romulans. Yeah, that's a good one. Yes, it's basically the Manchurian Candidate, Star Trek style. Yeah, that'd be a good one. That'll probably be. Speaking of, Samuel, did you get my message about Tuesday?
Mm-hmm.
You have a meeting? Okay. Good.
I'm confused by it, but I will be there either way. I'm sure you're confused by it too.
Well, yeah, they've been talking to us back and forth for a while now. Okay. So.
And of course, guys, Saturday video. We're running down our lovely little backlog before the graphics improvement, and of course, next weekend, Drunk Live.
Yes.
Unknown topic, unknown time, unknown day.
Well, hang on, we'll see.
Yeah. Probably.
Tonight though will be the 3rd in a row where I'm going to do a truth or drink, which have been really fun. I don't know if tonight will be a would you rather or drink. The would you rather questions. I might do that. So some of them are really disgusting and you don't want to answer them. So I might have a drink instead. So that might be actually get more drunk. Because truth or drink is either here nor there, because I'm unscrupulous. I'll answer anything.
So if this is the 3rd one, does this mean this is truth or drink 3, the wrath of drink? No, the search for drink, sorry.
Yeah, the search to get drunk, because I haven't got drunk yet on any of them.
And is there interest in me joining one of those? Doing a drunk live where we kind of have that sort of free flow formula?
I would love for you and I to do a truth or drink, but I think you'd get smashed pretty quick with the questions. You might not want to answer some.
I mean, hey, it's not up to me. As we say, the booze is ain't up to us. We are totally powerless in the drunk lives. You guys know that. You guys know that. Which is great. Yeah.
That is true.
Oh, yes. Sorry, Ozzy. Yes, read the scores. Sorry, guys. Yes. Thanks. Appreciate that. We kind of... Because I went first, so that kind of...
Yeah, it threw everything off.
Right. Yes. So 3, 7 out of 10, 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10, 5.2, 5, 5.5, 7, 5, 8. No trills out of 10. So yeah, actually, yeah, there we go. We were very, very on point. I was expecting some more 6 and 7s. So yeah, okay, glad we're on point. I like it. Yeah. 2 more likes. Come on, 2 more likes.
2 more likes, and yes, like I said, this last super chat slot, only $1 is all it needs, because I want to fight for that. We usually have a sniper battle at the end, but some of the regulars don't seem to be here, which is cool. Orville Nation can take it home. That's fine. And a $5 super chat is great. So, yeah. But yeah, let's hit 2 more likes, guys. 2 more likes. I see the congruent viewers are going down. Oh no, 2 more likes. 2 more likes. Yeah. So join me tonight. That'll probably be around 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. But yeah. Oh, there we go. 2 likes, 116. We hit it.
Boom.
Yes, awesome.
There we go.
And Fleet Paw Swift back, $5. I feel Truth or Dink wouldn't be fair to Sam. Everyone would hang up on him, and we'd end up naked on a pole somehow. No, see, here's the thing. If we do it with both of us, you can't specify who answers the question. One of us can jump on a grenade for the other one. So if he doesn't want to answer the question, I'll answer it, or we'll both take a drink. Like, we'll have to make up new rules for that. Because, yeah, I think it's too unfair to ask to specify who gets to drink for those, or who gets the question.
Or double super chat amount and you get to pick who. You know, we'll take the bullets ourselves for the right price.
Yeah, they have to be higher priced ones if you want to specify who gets to.
If you want to be a dick.
Yeah. So $5, $10, $20. You ask a question. Either one of us can answer. Yeah, I like that. And if you want to specify, you got to go with the higher amounts. I like that. Well, actually, we could work something out. Anyway, guys. Oh, fun will now commence. $5. 5 out of 10. The episode introduces the Trill. However, the concept is not executed effectively. Odan self-describes as parasite, but shows empathy. And Orville Nation, $5. Have you guys watched Dark Matter? I've seen some of it. I haven't watched all of it though. So.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Yep.
Didn't see the end, but I like the show. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. You'll see us this weekend because that's what we always do. Go have some nice dinner, Stuart.
I will, yeah. Tired too. All right, bye guys. It's been good.
Bye guys. Have a good weekend.
Bye. I'm Captain Foley.
I'm Connor Cummings. Bye guys.
See ya.